WTBQ.
Hello and welcome to ANGT Radio 93.5 WTBQ, where we want you to be the best you can be. We have some very exciting guests on today. Our featured guests include Eric Browser, celebrity trainer out in California, and we also have the very talented, the beautiful Allie Lee, recording artist about to come out with her new, I'm sure to be, hit single, Fetish, and we'll be speaking with the both of them. Before I talk or speak with them, I would like to mention a little thoughts and prayers going out to all the victims from Hurricane Sandy. Through Facebook, through social media, I see there's a lot of interaction and a lot of outpouring of hope and faith and giving, and including my whole group at America's Next Great Trainer, reaching out to do whatever we can to help the families, and I encourage all to do the same. So I sincerely thank all my friends, families, and businesses and organizations, especially a group in South Florida. As some of you know, I had a martial arts and fitness center down there, USA Karate and Fitness, in a short notice organizing what's I'm sure to be going to be a great event, a Hurricane Sandy fundraiser, where 100% of all the proceeds will be allocated to several charities, in which all the funds will be distributed to aid the victims of Sandy. So please help spread the word. They need our help now more than ever, and I understand there's a little bit of another weather issue ahead, but please be strong. Encourage others, especially in these times of crisis where we have to reach out. And as we say in our youth fitness and empowerment program, be a victim's hero. When someone's down, someone's out, especially in regards to bullying, we always say reach out and be that person's hero, which reminds me, I received a slew of emails in regards to Hurricane Sandy and a lot of interaction, I said, as I mentioned, through social media, and what we're doing to try to reach out and help the families. So I continue to do that with my fellow business partners, organizations, family, and friends. We're all trying to do what we can. But in regards to a particular email, which I received from a young girl, and how she's just so filled with emotions as a result of all the outpouring of love and giving and everything from people coming down there, providing clothing and all sorts of items to try to reach out and help, and donations. And she basically said, in life, you never know who your hero may be. And in her mind, it's always been God. God's been her hero. But in life, there's many heroes. And she requested a song by Enrique Iglesias, Hero. So I definitely want to start our show off today with that song, going out to all the victims of Hurricane Sandy. There is hope, there is faith, and I please encourage you to stay strong, and we are here with you, and we all can make a difference together. Enrique Iglesias, Hero.
Let me be your hero. Would you dance if I asked you to dance? Would you run and never look back? Would you cry if you saw me crying? And would you save my soul tonight? Would you tremble if I touched your lips? Or would you laugh? Oh, please tell me this. Now would you die for the one you love? Hold me in your arms tonight. I can be your hero, baby. I can kiss away the pain. I will stand by you forever. You can take my breath away. Would you swear that you'll always be mine? Or would you lie? Would you run and hide? Am I in too deep? Have I lost my mind? I don't care, you're here tonight. I can be your hero, baby. I can kiss away the pain. I will stand by you forever. You can take my breath away. Just wanna hold you. I just wanna hold you. Oh yeah, I'm in too deep. Have I lost my mind? Well, I don't care. You're here tonight. I can be your hero, baby. I can kiss away the pain, oh yeah. I will stand by you forever. You can take my breath away. And I can be your hero. I can kiss away the pain. And I will stand by you forever. You can take my breath away. You can take my breath away. I can be your hero.
Hello and welcome back to ANGT Radio 93.5 WTBQ Enrique Inglesia Hero, going out to all those going through those trying and challenging times, victims of Hurricane Sandy. And with me now we have celebrity trainer Eric Browser. Eric, how are you?
I am doing very well. How are you?
Good. How's the weather out there?
I can't complain. Where I am, it's probably about 85 degrees, sunny and clear skies.
Oh, we're loving that. That's what we need here.
I know how it goes there. My whole family is back in New York, so I get updates every day on the situation.
Well, we spoke briefly about that, Eric, before we start speaking about some nutrition and exercise advice that you're going to give to the listeners. I want to speak about, right now more than ever, it just seems like there's really a desperate need for people to really go out and make a change in their life, because I think as a result of not paying attention to themselves without being selfish, but basically if you're not taking care of yourself, you're really not taking care of everything else that's happening around you, including, you know, the best that you could be with your family, in regards to your family, your relationships, business, etc. But I think now, in regards to what's happening with these tragic events and everything else, bringing people down, and sort of to motivate people, the one benefit that I just really, truly get out of being a trainer and being a martial arts instructor was the fact that you actually do have the ability to change someone's life for so much better. And I'm sure you get a lot of that with yourself. You're exposed to so many clients. They come back to you with a simple thank you. There can be so much going behind the thank you, that you saved my life, you turned my life around, etc. So in starting this, I just want to talk a little bit about your background because, as you mentioned, you are from this area. You kind of know firsthand what's going on. You're staying in touch with your family and friends, what's happening here. But first, how did you get involved in what you do in regards to fitness?
Well, that all started, from being, an athlete as a youngster. Obviously I was always interested in performing well as an athlete, and I was a very, very good athlete, but I was also an extremely skinny, non-muscular kid. So while I had, pretty good speed and agility, my strength wasn't always the best. And, so I always wanted to build up my strength. And coupled with that is the fact that I was always very big into, the comic books and into superheroes and into athletes that were well built. I always admired the strong physiques, the Hercules, the Incredible Hulk and all those comic book superheroes. And, I always wanted to look like that, or I always wanted to pursue that, but never really knew, what it was about or how to do it. But around age 16 or so is when I, asked, my dad to buy me a weight training set, and, he bought me like one of those original sand-filled weight training sets for the basement. And I had a friend of mine, a very close friend named Mitchell, who he kind of came from the opposite end of the scale of, for me, I was an extremely skinny kid, and he was an extremely heavy kid. So we both wanted to get to shape together. So it was around age 16 that I started to research weight training and bodybuilding and reading everything I get my hands on and learning and talking to other people. And that was what started the whole thing for me at age 16, was just getting into bodybuilding and wanting to gain weight and get bigger. And then it was just through that my career, I became so interested in it that I became an expert in it and started teaching others and became a trainer, and then my career just evolved from there.
When did you move out to California?
I moved out to California in June of 2011, and I was brought out here actually by one of my clients who is a producer of reality TV shows, and he wanted to bring me out here to build a reality show around me and my life, and as a trainer and as a bodybuilder, fitness model, consultant, and we were into filming the show. Unfortunately, things didn't work out for various reasons, but that's what brought me out here. And now that I've been out here, I've taken advantage of it and expanded my career further.
How do you like it out there?
I like it very much. There's things about, I've lived in 3 different places in my life. It's been New York, Florida, and California. And, there's things about New York that I miss. There's things about Florida that I miss. And, there's things that if I didn't live in California, I would miss as well. But I enjoy it. It's a very fitness-oriented, type of society here, obviously, and the weather's nice year-round. I live very close to Los Angeles, so there's a lot of people into health and fitness, bodybuilding, physique, and everything else. So, I kind of feel at home here for that reason. Yeah, I've trained at the Mecca several times, and I like going back there to train and see all the famous people in the industry that I, was reading about growing up, and actually, working out side by side with them. So I can't complain. It's a very, very, beautiful place to live, and but I do miss my family back home in New York, and I try to get back there as often as possible.
Well, I hope when you do make the visit, do the stop by. Love to catch up with you here. But let's talk.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little about motivation. I want to start off because that's what seems to be lacking right now, is trying to get people motivated. And I think right now, trying to get that person that's down, going through challenging times, how to inspire or motivate them. Is there something specific that you could recommend that will maybe what they can do? What I typically recommend is, surround yourself with positive people, reaffirm positive stories, empowering stories, read and listen to audio. So I try to get them to strengthen that side of themselves, which is down and out, to sort of uplift themselves. But is there any advice that you can give in regard to that, to motivate them to to move, to get up, to exercise, to sort of change the way they feel, which is so important?
Well, I mean, I think that you pretty much hit the nail on the head, Rob, with how you try to motivate people. I mean, everything has to start from within. It has to start from your own mind, your own heart, your own gut, and you have to, be willing to take control because, everything that happens around us, we can't really control it, but we can control who we are and what we do. And I feel that, when you get in better control of yourself, things around you actually start to happen in a more positive way for you, and it all starts from within you. You have to be the bright light that starts shining, and then things around you will start shining brighter. I mean, I know it sounds, silly to some people, but it's just the truth. I mean, if you're down and you're depressed and you're not taking care of yourself, you'll end up putting those vibes out into the world, and it'll come back to you. But if you're positive and you feel good about yourself and you're strengthening yourself, physically and mentally, better and better things start to happen around you. So it has to start from within. People just need to realize that. And I think surrounding yourself with positive people is definitely one of the best things you could do. Surrounding yourself with people who have like interests in health and fitness and well-being. Separating yourself from the people who want to bring you down or push you onto a wrong path, or who want to derail you, because most of those people are just jealous that they can't do what you're doing, so they want to try to bring you down with them. And the main thing is to just start, to stop thinking about it, to stop saying, I'll start action. This day, I'll start this day. I know right now we're entering the holiday season, and so a lot of people are probably looking towards January 1st. Well, don't even look towards January 1st. Look towards tomorrow. And, maybe even if this is a tough time of year, just get started on something, even if it's just walking a couple of times a week. Just get started. And once you get started, the momentum starts to build. So, and listen, what else do we have if we don't have our bodies? I mean, nothing in the world means anything. You could have all the money, you could have, all this and all that and the material objects in the world, but if you're feeling like crap, if you're looking like crap, if you're not healthy, then what does it all mean? So, people just really need to realize that.
100% agreement, and especially that people should really understand that you have to be dependent upon yourself, and you have to make yourself your own priority, because nothing else around you is going to make you happy. I think people look for situations to change, look for themselves to be in a relationship, a career change just to happen, but instead of, like you said, taking action, be accountable, be responsible, be dependent upon yourself to take those steps and live a more positive, healthy lifestyle by getting up and taking action. So I think definitely hit the nail on the head there. Now let's start with getting started. And then, I know that you train everyone from a beginner, of course, all the way to celebrities, but in between there, the competitive bodybuilders and physique champions and fitness. So there's a lot you can offer, but to try to narrow it down, the average person, what would you recommend? Would it be just to call a local gym or call a trainer, or just would it be just to get yourself up and moving, get out walking, or do an activity that you love to enjoy?
I think, each of those things has value, and I think it depends on how you want to approach it. I mean, I think that, the first step for everybody is there's no reason, why you can't get up and, go out and start taking 3, or a daily walk, whether it be every day, every other day, something. There's no reason why you can't do that if you've been completely sedentary. There's no reason why, if there's a sport that you enjoy, that, maybe you can't go out and, join a league or pick up games or whatever, or just get out there a few times a week and play your sport. Now, if you're starting to talk about wanting to get into the gym and really, change the physique and work the muscles and strengthen the muscles, I think one of the things that stops most people is just fear of the unknown, fear that they're not going to do it right, fear that other people are going to look at them and, think that they're doing it wrong. I think that comes up quite a bit when we talk about weight training. So I think that if you can afford it, I think one of the best things you could do is to hire a trainer. And, it doesn't have to be a permanent situation. It could be something you just do for...
Just to get you started, to get you going.
Yeah, just to teach you the basics. I mean, Just to teach you, put you on a basic program, to teach you how to do the basic exercises, to make sure that you're doing the exercises correctly so that when you go in the gym and you do them, you feel confident that you're doing things correctly. And then once you do that, you'll feel your workouts, you'll be getting the most out of them, but you'll also be confident that you're doing things right. And that'll make you feel a lot better about going to the gym. And then from there, I mean, there's so much information, on the internet and in books and things that you can learn, that if you have that base of knowledge, just the basic exercises, you could, learn more about, okay, how do I progress to the next level? What routine, can help me build more muscle size? What routine will help me burn more body fat? And you can start to learn on your own, if you want to pursue it. It's just like learning, just like anything else. Any other hobby or anything else that people learn how to do, you could read about it and you can learn. And then, you can always get back together with a trainer every 6 months for a refresher course on how to go to the next level. But I think the main thing to do is to get started and empower yourself with the knowledge. Maybe you have a friend who's been doing it. Maybe a friend can take you to the gym if you can't hire a trainer. Maybe you have a friend who's been working out, and they can put you on a basic program. Just, you have to just be proactive and get out there, and you can get it done, even if you have to do it on your own and read about it on the internet or through books. And there's so many videos, and there's so much great information out there now that people didn't have. But I think the number one thing is knowledge. Knowledge is power, and then you feel good about going to the gym and doing it.
Knowledge is power and taking action. I love it. All right, so let's move on now to go to the other end of the coin. Competitive athletes, bodybuilders, giving them advice. I want to talk a little bit about nutrition. We talked about this a little bit the other night, you and I. Just to clear up creatine, believer, non-believer?
Absolute believer in creatine, probably the most effective single supplement that's ever been brought to the market, the most well-researched, the most well-reviewed in the trenches supplement. Nobody should expect miracles from it, but it certainly has a very feelable effect that you can see on the body, and it works at least in 75 to 80% of users. Of course, there are some people who are going to be non-responders. There are going to be some people who are going to respond, incredibly well, some moderately well. But in terms of all the supplements and all the snake oils and all the crazy stuff that's been brought to the market, creatine is consistently one of the most productive and effective supplements. And it is perfectly safe as well if used correctly. There's always horror stories, it's this, it's that, it could dehydrate you, this and that. It's not true. If you're a healthy human being, you're a healthy person and you take it as directed and you use it correctly, absolutely no health problems whatsoever. If anything, there'd be health benefits.
Well, you just answered my a couple other questions I was going to ask. All right, but let's move on to the benefits. What would you say the biggest benefits are from creatine intake?
Well, number one, creatine is the driving force of our strength when we're lifting weights and we're doing power type of exercises is ATP. It's just an energy source that's in our cells, and every time that we move and we do a repetition and we shoot a basket and we throw a punch and all these different things that we do, our body begins to break down that energy source. And without getting too scientific, having more creatine in the cells just basically helps your body to rebuild those ATP stores much more quickly, so that you're going to have more energy for repetitions and movement. So the number one thing that you'll find from creatine is that you'll have, I don't want to call it more energy, but you'll have more ability to produce more power. So let's just say, for instance, you're in the gym and you're doing curls and you pick up 50 pounds and you can normally do it 6 or 7 times before you're exhausted. Well, you'll find after using creatine for a couple of weeks that you're able to do it 8, 9, 10, 11 times with the same weight. And then perhaps you're able to move up to a heavier weight and get the same 6 or 7 repetitions with 60 pounds rather than 50 pounds. So you'll find a difference in your strength relatively quickly, and that's the first thing you'll see. Also, creatine is very anabolic, which means basically that it helps to build muscle. And there's several different reasons and several different mechanisms behind that, but it consistently has been shown that people who use creatine will more easily build muscle mass and size from using it. So those are the number 1 and 2 benefits, that you're going to build more strength, which is good for sports and activity, and for your workouts, which will make them all more productive. And also you'll directly affect your ability to build more muscle size and tone.
Would you, so men and women can benefit from creatine?
Men and women can certainly benefit. I mean, I have almost all my female clients are on creatine. And it's not the kind of thing, used properly, it's not the kind of thing that you're going to, women always worry, oh, I don't want to get bulky, this and that. But when women talk about muscle tone, they're really talking about muscle size, and they're really talking about muscle density. They want to see their muscles be more pronounced, not necessarily huge, but that's not going to happen like a man because they don't have testosterone to the same levels we have. They're not going to get bulky from creatine, but they're going to find that their performance in the gym, their performance at whatever sport that they may be pursuing is going to go up substantially, and they're going to find that their muscles are going to tone and build a lot more quickly than they would without it. So, yes, it's good for men and women for sure.
And then age limit, would you say, because now, of course, a lot of the high school athletes are looking to get the edge. Is there an age limit or at a certain point where you would recommend not doing it as opposed to doing it or starting creatine usage?
Well, I mean, we have to remember, creatine is something that's found naturally in a lot of foods, especially red meat. And it's not like some sort of, foreign chemical that we're putting in our body. If you're a 10-year-old and you eat a hamburger, you're taking in creatine. Basically, when we're taking creatine, we're just taking a concentrated form of it so that, you could take in one dose the amount of creatine that you'd get in several pounds of eating red meat. So I don't want anybody to ever feel like, oh, this is some sort of weird, chemical that, was synthesized in a lab. No, it's really just a natural compound that's found in many foods, but in the highest concentrations in red meat. So I don't really think there's an age limitation. I really don't see any reason why a 13, 14, 15-year-old, under their parents' care so that it's used properly by label directions. You don't want to overuse anything. Because, obviously when you're a teenager, you may say, oh, if I take 1 scoop, it's doing this. Or,
right.
If I take 10, it'll do 10 times as much. Well, that's when you could start running into problems. And probably the biggest problem you would run into would be more stomach issues than anything else. But still, you don't want to risk, having any health issues. So I think that if you're a teenager, it can be very beneficial for you if you're into wrestling or football or whatever it is, running, sprinting, that kind of stuff. But of course, if you're under the age of 18, you should use it under the care of your parents, or, even if you have a physician who knows something about sports nutrition and sports medicine, they can help you as well. But a very, very safe product for anyone who is a healthy individual. So
next question, brand. There's so many. That's one of the biggest questions that I'm always getting from many people is the creatine. To clear that up, and then especially a lot of adults, you have the mother saying, he's too young to be on the creatine. Of course, the father is saying he's not too young, But again, I agree with you 100%. Going by direction, following instruction, and under a parent's care when you're that young, I believe it's definitely beneficial. But now, brands. There's so many different brands out there. Is there a specific brand that you could recommend?
It's really not so much a specific brand. I mean, there are many different types of creatine out there. The basic creatine, the most well-researched creatine, is called creatine monohydrate, which is basically the first creatine that ever came out. Now, since then, everybody's tried to create a better wheel and, say, oh, this is better than this is better than this. Right. And there are some that have come out. Crealkaline is one that I actually use very often myself because Crealkaline is a brand that the creatine is buffered, which actually just makes my stomach more comfortable. Some people don't have any problems with regular creatine monohydrate. Some people do. But I'd say that the basic thing is to go with a brand a high-level brand, meaning, the one that you see, on the, you don't just buy something over the internet that just has like some sort of no name to it. As long as it's like a name brand, there's many good companies out there: Gaspari, Optimum Nutrition, EFX, Labrada, Metrex. I mean, all these are major brands, and they all put out some form of creatine. And as long as you're going with a major brand, you're going to get high quality. But it doesn't have to be any specific brand, just as long as it's a well-known, high-quality brand that uses high-quality raw materials, you'll be fine.
All right, now that brings me to, I understand that you are endorsing a product yourself, or you're going into a venture with a product company.
Yes, I just was hired to be the face of a company called Premium Nutraceuticals International, or PNI, and this is a very, very exciting new brand that's being run by somebody who I have known, who's been in the industry for basically as long as I have. And we've worked together off and on at several different companies. Both of our careers have evolved sort of apart and then back together, and then apart and back together. And we always knew that one day we would come back together and do something really major together. And he recently was able to start this brand. And this brand, PNI, is all about, what I like to say about them is they are a brand that is not trying to do things as well as everyone else, that a brand that's trying, that refuses to do things as well. They want to do things better. They want to be the trailblazers for the other brands to try to catch up to. And they currently have 3 products out: a natural testosterone booster called Paragon, a pre-workout supplement called Prodigy, and a fat burner called Thermodex. And these are all of the absolute highest quality, highest effectiveness. I've tested all of them before I became a part of the brand, and everything from the raw materials to the manufacturing to the scientists that's behind the actual creations and the combinations that are in these products. Everything is absolute top-notch, and I would never get involved with a company that wasn't absolutely top-notch. So we're going to be producing a lot of new, amazing products over the next few months. And as well, we're going to be producing a line of products under my name called Broser Built, which is going to also be, of course, of the highest quality. It's going to be sort of a line that's going to augment the PNI line. It's going to go along with it. It's going to fill some holes in the PNI line so that we pretty much bring every type of product for every type of individual to the market.
That sounds very exciting for you, and I also would like to sample your products as well. But before we go on, just to give them some information in regards to how they could find out about your products, the website and contact information.
Well, definitely go to www.pni-online.com to learn about the PNI line. You can also go to, if you just search Premium Nutraceuticals International on Facebook, you'll find the Facebook page, which is going to have me on there pretty much daily, putting out inspirational messages, putting up tips, ask the coach type of things as well, giveaways and all kinds of new announcements of new products. So that page is going to be very exciting. You can also go to my website, which will be coming out soon, called broserbuilt.com, which is BROSER built.com, all one word. That's going to be debuting somewhere around mid-December to late December, and that's going to also have my line of products on there as well as information about the PNI products and a bunch of other exciting things as well. So you're going to see a lot of stuff coming out with PNI. We have a lot of stuff ready to go in the pipeline, so it's major things going to be happening.
Well, that's very exciting. Also, you have a Facebook fan page they could find you at as well, right?
Yes, I have a Facebook fan page. If you just search me on Facebook, you'll see my name will probably come up a few different times, but you can see which one is my athlete fan page, and I welcome everybody to come, join that page and come and like that page. And I'm always try to use my pages to, not only advertise my services of what I do, but also just to go back to what you and I were talking about before, which is inspiring people and motivating people. So very often I'll put up there, I have a book of motivational quotes that I've written, and I'll grab those quotes and I'll put a new one on every couple of days, or I'll put on just a tip for working out or supplements or nutrition, or I'll put up a transformation story. That's a transformation story of one of my clients up there right now who just went from 235 pounds down to 164 pounds. And he's
transformation. That's a big transformation.
That's a very big transformation. I actually just got him into Ironman magazine for his transformation, which I write for. So, the page is meant to also, to get people motivated and inspired. And
I can attest to that because I go there myself, Eric. I've been going there reading your, because I believe that's actually the best way to even start the day is make yourself a note, find someone like yourself that's putting that stuff out there that's very, very knowledgeable, that inspires, educates, motivates people. And they have, the answers to a lot of the problems that these people seem to have, and by starting the day off on that note, I think it will just make everything so much different. You're very inspirational. I love what you're doing out there, and I'm so glad that we connected. We have Ali Lee on the line now. In closing, I just want to reaffirm Eric Browser, celebrity trainer, not only celebrity trainer, he really is the real deal. Google him, look him up, go to his website, go to his Facebook page, his P&I products, www.pni-Eric?
Yes.
What is it? Online.com. Eric, it's been a real pleasure. I'm very much looking forward to speaking with you again and having you back on the show.
Anytime, Rob. Thank you so much for having me, and then you and I will talk again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, Eric. I'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
Eric Browser, a wealth of information. I would highly recommend looking him up, checking out his websites, going to his Facebook page, and again, starting your day off with all that information that is right there that you have access to. And now we have on the line the pure, positive, jet-fueled energy of Ali Lee.
Hi, Rob. How are you doing?
What's going on, Ali? You have so much exciting things going on in your life. It's fantastic. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm tired.
I was going to say, I'm like looking at all the stuff she's doing. I said, I can go, but this girl goes. She's got jet fuel overload.
I have limited time on this planet to go around, so I got to get as much done as I can.
Well, I don't know. This is going to require several interviews, but we'll try to we'll try to accomplish as much as possible today. First, Ali, very exciting stuff. You're about to have a new single coming out, about to be released, which must be really exciting for you. And also exciting is you're working on a reality TV show.
I am, and they're both very exciting. I mean, I'm having pretty much the time of my life.
So what led you, we mentioned, you and I spoke briefly. I'm very excited because, as a matter of fact, everyone, we're doing a photo shoot together, and we're also, it's going to be very, very exciting. So stay tuned. That will be all over the Facebook world and internet world.
Yeah.
But so you're coming to New York. You're going to be shooting with celebrity photographer, speaking of jet fueled, Laura Warnick. She's absolutely awesome.
Yeah,
and she's shooting your album cover, isn't she?
Right. She's going to shoot my album cover and my single covers because we're not going to release an album for a while. So
that is fantastic. So let's start with how I know that you're very, very involved in fitness. That's why it's just a perfect synergy right now. You keep yourself in great shape, and you and I were kind of joking around the other day. I said I'm going to the gym now to work on those final 2 lower abs, and then you were right there with me. You were saying
I was heading right out the door with you.
So those are on order. Hopefully they'll come in soon. But anyway, so let's talk a little bit about health and fitness, then we'll talk about your exciting career and everything else. How many a week? Just keep yourself in great shape. What do you do?
Well, honestly, I work out really hard, and I'm sure all your real trainer people are going to hate me, but I'm not a good dieter, so I make up for that in the gym because I just love pizza and ice cream and all the crap you're not supposed to eat. It's there for you, and you want to eat it, so I eat it. And so I just work out really hard.
And then you just burn it right off.
I do, and partly why I can do that is because I work out on what they call the vibe plate, and I'm sure you've heard of it, and I'm sure these other trainers use it also, but it's this vibrating plate that is just, it vibrates at this hugely intense speed, and I do my squats on there, I do my dance rehearsals on there, and I'm telling you one thing, I can balance all day long on the tip of my little tippy toe because of this machine. It is just incredible. But, I mean, it takes your workout to, like, a level I feel like I can never plateau while using this thing.
Now, have you YouTubed that yet? You doing the Vibe workout?
I haven't, but I definitely plan to. I just want to wait until I look like complete, pure fire on a stick.
Yeah, you got to light that one up, Allie. You have to blast that one out there.
I do post those kinds of pictures on my Instagram of me going out on that plate, and everybody's like, what is that? What are you standing on? And I'm like, listen, I'm doing work here, buddy.
So how many days a week are you doing that?
Well, since I'm gearing up for my video shoots, I'm doing 2 a day, so I'm just working out twice a day, every day. And, but normally I'll do 5 days a week, an hour and a half a day. It really just depends. My schedule's so crazy, so it's whenever I can get it in, I'll go really, really hard, and then I'll take a couple days off. And actually, that's kind of nice because it gives my muscles a chance to settle, and it looks better for photo shoots when I haven't worked out, like, heavy,
Right. So now, do you maintain well, obviously, you said you're allowed to consume the foods that you were speaking about earlier, but the fact is that you have that energy. You go in there and you're being accountable. You're saying, I'm doing this because I know I can, and because I know what's going to happen later on. It's going on.
Oh, right.
It's
Absolutely.
coming in. But
if I didn't work out the way I would just balloon up. In fact, I went through a phase. I'm just a normal human, so I've gone through my phase where I learned all the lessons of exactly what my body can and can't handle and will not tolerate. And, that's a phase that most everybody needs to go through just to achieve their maximum results, I feel like.
Well, you're a big hit already. Like everyone on my Facebook page is emailing me, Rob, when's the album coming out? When's her show coming out?
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that.
So let's talk about that's great that you're so active in regards to your workouts. So how did you break into the music industry? I was looking at your videos, great dancer, great performer. I love the trailer for Rookie Girl. Is that the name? That's it, right? Rookie Girl?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, everyone, you have to Google this. Allie Lee is spot on with it. That was just fantastic because, it brings real life to it. And to tell you the truth, Allie, we talk a lot about kids, about fitness, about confidence. You really showed some very real important sides. I hope people get the message out of. You went in there, you're trying these different things. I hope you don't mind if I talk about it a little bit.
No, I'm so glad that you actually see the whole point of the show.
Yeah.
You're right on the money.
Because, Allie, that is so important. The number one thing today the kids, teenagers need is confidence. They fear that how the judgments that are going to be made by others. And you show and demonstrate that, it's really what fiber you're made of. You're going out there, you're doing things that you never tried before, and you just don't care what you look like.
And it's really funny, but that's exactly all it is. All there is to it, and the whole point of the show is just I'm going to go try something, and you're going to watch me either fall on my face or I'm going to stand up and cheer for myself. Either way, I've done something different, and it's really not about how you look. Nobody can look cool when they're trying something new. There's just no way. So I think that hopefully kids will really be able to appreciate it.
Well, Allie, I'll tell you something. As a matter of fact, my daughter's listening. Tia, I hope you're hearing this because I just had this conversation. It's funny. I just had this conversation with her today. I'm coming up to the studio. So she calls me up. So she wants to suddenly come up to the studio. And did I leave yet? And meanwhile, I was pretty much already here. And she said that she had a tryout today for a gymnastics team. And it didn't go that well.
Oh.
So she was, she had that fear in her, and then she used those words, I can't. She knows the way that I am with that word. I say,
I'm not lying, I use those.
And so the message that you're putting out, especially to girls, boys too, and adults, overcoming that bit of fear, that intimidation, even going back to what Eric was speaking about earlier, what keeps people away from trying something is that fear and intimidation factor, even in regards to their own health and wellness, calling up or going to the gym. But so I think the show, it's not one of those shows that, I think it's just going to It's going to hold you, and it's got emotion in it. It's got human interest. It draws you in because people are going to relate to it. There's so much reality out there. It's just really, as far as I'm concerned, useless reality.
Well, that's what I was going to say is, like, I wanted my show to be something that was not just, I love all the reality shows. I watch them all, but I wanted there to be some sort of substance in there, like, what can you take away from this at the end of the day? And I want people to watch it and be like, I want them to get behind me, like, I want people to get in the state of mind of, like, wanting each other to succeed, because just because somebody is succeeding on one side of the world doesn't mean you're not going to be succeeding on the other side of the world. One person's success isn't dependent upon another's. So we kind of all need to, like, rally together and encourage each other to get out there and do everything we want to do.
Allie, you're such an inspiration. I mean, I see it, and we spoke several times. Just your energy is just so refreshing. And like I said, more importantly, I really think you're just going to go to a place that really is, I'm sure you see it in your mind's eye, but I think it's really unimaginable at this time, the impact that you really can have on our youth. And I keep saying the youth because I really see what you're doing here, and I really see the missing link with the kids today. And I think you're going to have a big following right there, and the way that you speak yourself about, trying things out, the trials and tribulations of life, the challenges that we all face, because we're all in those moments of challenge. And right now on another level, of course, Hurricane Sandy here, people in life, challenges are going to constantly happen, and they're going to happen over and over again, and hopefully not as catastrophic, but we still, even when they do, we have to be strong. And like you said earlier, too, is, we're in this together, this whole thing together. So you're putting, as far as I'm concerned, you're putting not only a show together, but you're putting a show together that has impact, that has substance, that could actually help and transform someone, or you never know who's going to be watching that, who's going to get that message out of it, that could ultimately change their life. So now you break into the music industry. I sort of got sidetracked there. And how did all that happen?
Well, I've been on stage my whole life. I was a professional ballet dancer. I went to a performing arts type high school, and so I did all the main stage shows and everything like that. And it was just, that's where my head was. That's all I ever have known to do. And so I was fortunate. I moved to Atlanta, worked a few years in the club scene as a dancer, and I kind of changed it up a little bit because in Atlanta the girls are known for wearing boots and kind of like doing, honestly, I'll be real about it. I mean, they just kind of move around and just stand there and don't really do too much. So I was like, well, screw that. I mean, if I'm going to be doing this for like 3 hours a night, I'm going to make my money and I'm going to get my workout in. So I went hard with it, and I decided I'd wear tennis shoes. And, I just turned it into a full-out dance workout and kind of changed up the scene a little bit. And from there, I was noticed and able to get some music opportunities. And at random, I call up my buddy Keith Thomas, who just, I'd been networking with him for 3 or so years. It's funny because you're not always ready, and they know that you're not always ready, and then you climb, and they're watching you. They always are watching you, and you make steps and you make efforts, and you get yourself to a different point, and then oddly enough, 3 years down the road, I call him because some small little record label wanted to sign me, and I thought to myself, well, I've got this guy Keith Thomas. Why would I do that? That's almost senseless. So I call him up, and he says, well, come on down to Nashville. And so I drove down there, and he had a song on deck written by Claude Kelly. And you can't do any better than Claude Kelly. And it was an awesome little song, so we just scooped it right up and ran into the studio and recorded it. And I can't tell you how absolutely bananas it went from that point on. It's pretty much unheard of just, like, running into the studio, recording a song, and, like, shipping it off to radio. I mean, I got very fortunate, and I appreciate Claude, and I appreciate Keith, and I appreciate everybody that had their hand in it, because I really can't take much credit.
And that was all in Nashville?
Yeah, I did that one in Nashville.
Yeah, that's on my to-do with my daughter, Nashville. Did you like Nashville?
Oh, I love Nashville. That's great. That's a great place.
Oh, it looks like a really great place. The CMAs, I love the Country Music Awards.
Right, I do too.
that was great. I was dying to go. I was almost going to go. I had great seats, but unfortunately conflict, and that didn't happen this year, but we will be doing that next year. So you moved on, so now you're in the studios, you're recording. Now you have another album you're working on. Album or single?
I just was working on a single, and then it turned into an album. So, because I'm doing this independently, it's kind of, we're not exactly trying to do things the way the record labels do it, because it's all everything in music is in the process of changing. And quite frankly, I've met a lot of people. I've talked to a lot of huge executives and bigwigs, and nobody has an idea for me and of me that matches my idea for me and of me. So I was just kind of like, at the end of the day, like, I really have to give this a go for my own perspective, because I don't know. The only way I know how to operate is by following my instincts, because I'm not a crazy person, so my instincts don't lead me down a crazy path, you know. So it turns out to be a good deal at the end of the day.
Well, I'm very excited to hear. We have to have a part 2, Allie. We are.
Oh, believe me, I intend to have a part 2.
Yeah, we definitely want to follow up. And as I said, we want to play your song as well. So we're going to do that our next. As a matter of fact, I would like to book it now if you're available. We can follow up for part 2 next Tuesday if you're available. That would be great. If not, you can call me and we'll reschedule it. But definitely going to have a part 2. Allie Lee, look for her new single coming out, Fetish.
Fetish, yep.
Fetish, and definitely look her up for Rookie Girl, reality TV show. And it's good, Allie, you're going to be a great inspiration to many, and I'm very much looking forward to our continuing relationship and also our big photo shoot with Laura
Rob,
Warnick.
I'm excited.
So, again, Allie, thank you very, very much, and I will talk to you very soon.
Thank you, sir. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, that was Allie Lee. And now we're going to hear, I would like to close out with a song. We opened up with Hero, and I want to close out with Van Halen's Right Now, because right now is when you have to start. No matter what it is in life that you choose to do, it's got to be now, right now. It's not January 1st, it's not New Year's. Be accountable, make the change, make it happen right now. It's Rob Fletcher, ANGT Radio, 93.5 WTBQ.